Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. In today's What's for Dinner video, I'll be sharing with you what meals we had this past week. Our dinners were easy to make, budget friendly, and delicious. So if you're looking for some weeknight meal ideas for your family, just keep watching. This first night was actually my birthday, and we went over to my mom and dad's to celebrate. You guys, they made this birthday so nice. It was my 40th birthday, which I'll just say right there, that doesn't even sound real, me saying that. I don't feel like I'm 40. It doesn't seem like I'm already 40, but, you know, the calendar doesn't lie. But my mom and my dad and my siblings made it so special, and Gary as well. So they decorated the living room like true crime themed, and they had like a bat and a knife, and like it looked like a crime scene with like the little numbers on it, because I love true crime stuff. And then in the kitchen and dining room, I am, very girly, always have been, and so they decorated it in like pink and rose gold, and it was just really sweet. They had pictures of me, from when I was little to now. It was just really, really sweet. And I told my mom, I gave her a few ideas of things to make, but basically I just said, make whatever as long as it's not celery and something vinegary. And so they made one of my favorites, which is Mexican food, and we just had a big spread, and everything was delicious. Y'all, I'm going to try to get my dad's taco meat recipe. Whatever he did, this taco meat, like, I know you might be like, Megan, it's taco meat. He makes his own seasoning, and I think he said he cooked the meat for like an hour or something. Anyway, I'm going to try to get it and share it with you guys, because this was amazing. And then we had all the toppings. We had tortillas, taco shells, tostadas, Doritos if we wanted to make taco salads, queso, and then we had some, I think my dad said this was saffron rice with some cooked chicken and some queso with rotel, and then my birthday cake. Gary got me this from Publix. I think it's called the strawberries and cream. It was like a vanilla cake. It had like a whipped cream, icing, strawberries. It was delicious. It was so good. But yeah, it was a really, really nice birthday celebration. I'm very grateful. They made me feel very loved and appreciated, and it was really, really sweet of them all to put together. And yeah, that was my 40th birthday dinner. For dinner the next night, I'd really been wanting to have just like turkey and dressing one more time for, the holiday season, although I know it's kind of past now. But I have this turkey breast roast. All I did was remove it from the packaging, leave the little netting on it. I patted it dry with some paper towels and then placed it in my baking dish. I'm using aluminum foil pans today because it was Sunday. I try not to do as many dishes as I can on Sunday. If you don't want to use disposable pans, don't use them. So I'm going to add some olive oil to the turkey breast roast and then season it however you wanted to. I decided to do some sea salt, pepper, poultry seasoning, and then some of this buttery garlic herb from Kinder. So yeah, just generally season both sides, and then I went in with my hands and rubbed the seasonings all over it. Make sure you wash your hands really, really well. And then I just cooked this according to the package instructions. So I cooked it at 350 degrees for about an hour and a half or so until it was 165 degrees internal temperature. I tinted it with foil, let it rest for about 15 minutes, and then sliced it up. This had so much flavor, and it was super tender and really juicy. It was really good. Now for the dressing, I have shared this before on my channel, but I'll run it through with you again. I've got some diced hard-boiled eggs in this bowl. I'm going to add some diced onions. Next, I'm adding some cornbread. This is cornbread I just cooked up a couple days ago. Crumbled it up. I'm going to season this with some salt, pepper, and sage. And like I tell you, in everything, you're in your kitchen. If you want to add something to this, add it. If you want to change something, change it. You could add in like a can of cream of chicken or cream of celery soup. You could saute up your onions. You could add some celery, saute that up, add it to it if you want, make it your own. I'm going to add in some chicken broth until it's moistened, and then pop this into a greased casserole dish, and this baked at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes or so. Next, I tried a new recipe for a corn casserole. I'll have this recipe linked down in the description box below, and I'll also type out my granny's dressing recipe in the description box below. I have the recipe. So to this bowl, I have some melted butter. I'm going to add in a box of Jiffy corn muffin mix, then some sour cream, I added in 2 eggs. Next, I'm going to give that a really good mix, and then we'll add in the remaining ingredients. So first up, you need some corn. The recipe suggested using like one of these small cans, about 8.5 ounces, which you could totally do. I wouldn't have minded a whole can of corn in here. So if that's what you got on hand, I could, I would just use that. Then we're going to add in a can of cream style corn, followed by some salt and then sugar. Now, the recipe did say that if you wanted a less sweet, more savory corn casserole, just add a couple teaspoons, or you could add up to like maybe a 1/4 cup or so of sugar if you wanted it more sweet. So once that's mixed together really well, it's going to go into a greased baking dish in the oven at 350 degrees for about an hour, and this was delicious. I really liked this, and I've also seen recipes where people add shredded cheese to that, so you could do that if you'd like. Next up, I'm going to make a quick gravy. Now, you can absolutely use gravy from a packet or from a can jar, but making your own homemade, it's really easy, and you probably already have everything that you need on hand. In this little saucepan here, I've got some butter. You could use oil, whatever kind of fat you want. Once the butter melted, this is on about medium heat, by the way, I'm going to add in my flour, whisk that, cook that for a minute or two, and then I'm going to whisk in some chicken broth, and then I have the juices from where I cooked the turkey. I'm going to add that in. It's going to give it great flavor. I'm adding some seasonings. Use whatever seasonings you like. I'm doing some salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, a little poultry seasoning, and then I decided to add in a little bit of this kitchen bouquet. My dad adds this to his giblet gravy at Thanksgiving, and so I thought that it would be good in this, and it was. So I'm going to give this a whisk and then bring this to a simmer. Once it gets thick, it's ready to serve up. If it's not getting as thick as you want it to, you can always add a little cornstarch slurry into it. Here, I just did like a really quick and easy sweet potato casserole. I had a can of yams in the pantry. I just drained them, mashed them up with a little butter, cinnamon, and honey, put them in a greased dish, and sprinkled them with some crushed honey roasted pecans, and just baked it at 350 degrees for like maybe 30 minutes or so. And then we've got some cranberry sauce, just slice it up. I made some quick deviled eggs, just mayonnaise, a tiny little bit of mustard, salt, pepper, paprika, and sweet relish. And yeah, here are the plates. We had a little bit of everything. This was delicious. So good. We had tons of food left over, so for dinner the next night, we just had leftovers of the turkey dressing and sides. For dinner the next night, wanted something quick and easy, so I looked in the fridge. Here's what I came up with. I had this Trader Joe's Mandarin orange chicken, the vegetable fried rice from Trader Joe's, their spring rolls, and some sweet chili sauce. So I just cooked the Mandarin orange chicken in the air fryer. I spray it with a little cooking spray, cook it at 390 degrees for about maybe 9 to 10 minutes or so. You just want to make sure you're warming the chicken back all the way through, and then toss it with the sauce. The fried rice, I cooked it in the microwave, which I think you just place it in a microwave safe bowl, cover it, and microwave it for like maybe 5 minutes. I do stir it halfway through, and then I cooked the spring rolls in the air fryer as well at 400 degrees for about 3 minutes, flipped it another 2 or 3 minutes, and yeah, quick and easy dinner. And I know a lot of people don't love the Mandarin orange chicken. We like it, and so if you've got a Trader Joe's near you, this orange chicken, the fried rice, and these little spring rolls makes a really quick and easy dinner. For dinner the next night, I got a hankering for chili cheese dogs, so that's what I made. I just cooked the hot dogs up in the air fryer, warmed up some canned hot dog chili, and then placed the hot dogs, chili, and some shredded cheese on some hot dog buns, and then popped it in the oven at about 400 degrees for just maybe 5 minutes or so until the cheese melted. And then I cooked up some little tater rounds in the air fryer, and yeah, that was dinner that night. For the last dinner in this week's video, I'm going to call it Marry Me Chicken Pasta because it's kind of similar to Marry Me Chicken Pasta recipes that I've seen, but I didn't follow a recipe for this. I totally just used things that I had on hand. So here's what I came up with in this pot here, and it's not really dirty. I just boiled the pasta in this, and I didn't want to dirty up another pot when all that was in here was pasta and water. I've got a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to add some diced onions and some sliced mushrooms. I did season them with just a tiny little bit of salt and pepper, and I cooked them for about 5 minutes until the onions were tender. Next, I'm going to add in some sun-dried tomatoes along with the oil and give that a stir and cook that for another 2 or 3 minutes. Next, I'm going to add in some minced garlic. I'm using the stuff from the jar. You can absolutely chop up your own if you'd prefer. Get that a stir, cook that for about 30 seconds. Now, I just happen to have this on hand, and I am trying to use it up. This is just some alcohol-free Sauvignon Blanc. So just add a little splash of that and let it cook off about, 50% of it. Now I'm going to add in some fresh spinach. I'm going to add a little salt to that spinach, season it up, and then give that a stir. And I cooked that for just a couple minutes until the spinach had wilted. At this point, I'm going to add in some chicken. This is just chicken tenders that I had seasoned with some of the Kinder's blend seasoning, and I cooked them up in the air fryer. I did this a few days ago and then chopped them up. I just kept that on hand, for quick lunches or something like this dinner. Now I have this jar of Alfredo sauce in my pantry, so I'm going to add that in. I did add a splash of the plant-based cream to the jar just to kind of get the rest of that sauce out. I'm going to add in some grated Parmesan cheese. This is just the stuff from the shaker jar. That's what I had on hand. So I'm going to give that a stir, and then I cooked that for just a couple minutes until everything was warmed through. You can add in whatever cooked pasta you prefer, what you got on hand. I have some of this protein rotini pasta that I need to use up, so I just boiled it in some salted water according to the package instructions. I'm going to give that a good mix, and then I just cooked it for a couple minutes to warm it through, and that was it. This pasta was delicious. Gary and I both loved it. It had really great flavor and not a bad way to use up several things from my fridge and pantry. Now, speaking of using things up, I had 2 ciabatta rolls. I apologize. I just melted some butter, added some fresh garlic, little parsley, and then baked it in the oven at, I think it was like 375 degrees for maybe 6 to 8 minutes, just until it was toasted. And here are the plates. And like I said, it was delicious. All right, that is it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you liked this video, that you got some ideas for dinners from it. If you did like it, hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.